Hello everyone and welcome back to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe. My name is Greg Engel and I'll be your host today. I told you we were going to get Yahoo serious about unboxing and I meant it. We're here with the very first figure that's shown up on my door since then, and it's none other than a Snake Eyes figure. There's like a 25% chance that every figure you get in is a Snake Eyes. But luckily it's not your average Snake Eyes figure. This is Snake Eyes V4, the child of the 90s Snake Eyes, which is a bit more of an iconic Snake Eyes than your average figure. And in particular, I think this Snake Eyes resonates with a very certain era of G.I. Joe collectors that grew up with him as this was their Snake Eyes. So let's open him up, take a look at some other Snake Eyes V4s of the past, see how he holds up. I've added a nice new camera as my unboxing cam compared to the last unboxing I did. I think you will notice a significant difference, because I certainly do. Here is Snake Eyes in the box with your standard packaging that we're getting nowadays. I'm not going to go too much into the accessories because we're going to open it up and look at them, but there's a QR code that nobody cares about. There's his card art. Here's some symbols that do some things. Snake Eyes is number 165 in the series. It's hard to believe there's that many figures. Here he is in his little battle pose. Here's a Fang in the back. He's got all geared up. He's been grappling. A big emphasis on him scaling walls because of his accessory set. Some pouches with some daggers, and of course there's his iconic silver mask and red visor that's most well known for this figure. Here's his card art, which actually is very, very cool. One of the best looking Snake Eyes there. Hard for me to see this figure and not immediately think about Marvel's G.I. Joe 133, which has a very prominent feature of this Snake Eyes on the cover. He does not wear this outfit for very long in the comic, and in the cartoon I think he only wears it in the Deke era, which most people widely regard as being not very good. But the covered 133 is excellent, and it's one of my favorite moments of his wearing this outfit. Let's open this guy up and see what his accessories look like. Snake Eyes V4 comes with almost the exact same accessory set as the original vintage Snake Eyes does, which we'll cover in just a second. Everything you're looking for with this guy in modern figures is here. Butterfly joints. We've got double pended, great flexibility. Always appreciate it when a figure right out of the box is posable to a certain degree. Some limitations with the vest here, or maybe just this very seized up joint. I can see that being a limitation for posability. Oh, it's there. You just got to really put it in there. So he's got good range of motion there. Same with the head. A little bit, not a lot of up and down on this. I'm noticing, really, genuinely, not much up and much give compared to modern heads. Might need to have some adjustments to the ball joint. The potential's there, and it's not the vest that's interfering. As far as I can tell, the vest doesn't interfere with it at all. All our hands, and ooh, what's this little secret? Translate. I think I did this once before, and if I'm not mistaken, it's on the 00 Snake Eyes. There are some similar symbols, and they are thunder and lightning. Now, I don't know for a fact if these are the same, but I have seen this kind of thing before. So that's a new addition. Black gloves, blue undershirt, black vest with gray pouches, many pouches. Some might say a Liefeldian amount of pouches. We've got, obviously I skipped his head. He's got his silver faceplate with all these little like breathy holes in it, a red visor, black mask underneath. You can see that the visor goes all the way around. Unclear on how this is supposed to attach, but we're kind of filling in the gaps as we go because we've never had this level of detail before. He's got a little side pouch here with some little side daggers, and there's a pouch over here. This is a holster for, I don't think it's a machine gun, maybe. Doesn't come with a pistol, so it has to be that. We'll check it out in just a second. Black, just plain black pants with a little gray here. Some blue add-ons here and there. A little tiny slice of red there, just as an accent, which I like. Knees are about the same. Gonna have to give it up. As you guys know, I'm an adamant non-boiler of figures. I just don't think that should be a thing. So when they've been like this right out of the box, I'm just going to give that a high score. I think they should all work like that. These are very, very good joints compared to a lot of classified figures. Just the last wave of stuff that I opened. Very good figure. Lots of posability, not a lot of stuff in the way. There's an ab crunch under there. You just can't see it under all this stuff. All right, what's he come with? I don't know if this originally came with Helix, but I definitely recognize it as something that she came with. It's a little backpack for him to store his katanas. Here are said katanas. You can see that they have a little bit of red edging on them. Blood, maybe? Or just cool designing to match his boot accents. Hard to say, but I do really like that little touch. It just sets it off. Much like when they take the time to put a little detailed Arashikage symbol on the hilt, I always think that's very cool. Here's a submachine gun in black and red. Another very stylized piece of equipment. Looks very good. I mean, it's pretty sharp. We've seen this gun many times before also. It's got a little silencer on the end. Don't think it's had this exact paint scheme. And then lastly, not a lot of accessories. He's got a grappling hook, which is, of course, to match his original V2 grappling hook. Let's suit him up, see how he looks all geared up. Here he is all geared up. His submachine gun does not fit in that holster, not easily at least, not without a tremendous amount of work, I would expect. So I opted to put the swords on his backpack and have him hold the gun so he would have all his equipment. Mysteriously, there's nowhere to attach the grappling hook, and I'm not even going to bother unraveling it. So I am assuming it's just for diorama use. You just kind of tie it around his hand, and that's the other end of it. Which is fine. I did not expect him to put a gigantic rocket launcher on his back for him to launch off. For the sake of comparison, here is the next most recent Snake Eyes figure that I've got in. It's the cartoon accurate Snake Eyes with the polar, I was going to say the polar battle bear, just a polar bear, just a regular polar bear. So a pretty nice contrast for these two figures to come out so close together and be so, radically different iterations of Snake Eyes over time. I like both of these figures quite a bit. Here's a look at my original Snake Eyes V4. Right away you can see that this Snake Eyes has a much brighter blue than this. I'm usually a bit of a stickler for colors, but sometimes I think it works, and in this case I think it's perfectly fine. You can see that the accessory loadout is identical. He has a very similar submachine gun. He came with one sword instead of two. He has a grappling hook by some stretch of the imagination, as well as the cord to attach it. There's some color differences down here as well. You can see the boots are not the same blue. They did keep that blue stripe down the side, which I like a lot. And they've taken a couple of artistic liberties with the helmet or the mask, and for the better, in my opinion. I think the comic book had to do the same thing. There's just a little bit too much gray area here, and it looks a little doofy, quite honestly. So I think the comic book and also this classified figure have filled in that gray area quite well. The modern line doesn't have quite as much to be proud of. This is from the Dollar Tree line, if I'm not mistaken, which means it was a vastly inferior made figure. But it's the only Snake Eyes V4 that existed in the modern line to my knowledge. It's actually not that bad for the dollar store? It's Dollar Tree, I believe. Because they were not $1. They were just cheaper than regular Joe's. I mean, I'll give it a pass, but of the three that we've seen here, it's the weak one on the totem pole. So there we have Snake Eyes V4. What do you think about this Snake Eyes? I am of the mindset that I definitely want all of the iconic outfits. And I feel like we've got a V1, and I feel like we've got a pretty good V2 at this point. We need a V3, obviously, because that's a very well-known outfit as well. And I know it's not very popular, but the V5 era Ninja Force Snake Eyes, which is just like a solid mask with nothing else other than his eye slits on it, I think is very underrated, and I would like to see it done justice with the classified scale. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. We're getting a slice and dice. Anything is possible. And they certainly love making Snake Eyes, so I guess anything's on the table. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this figure. I'm very impressed overall with the overall design and aesthetic of it. It's got a simple loadout that's faithful to the original. The joints were really nice out of the box. What a silly thing to say, but is a big deal for me. Yeah, I give this figure a very high grade. I think it's an excellent pickup, and I look forward to doing some dowel work with him just to kind of have a change of pace with my Snake Eyes figures. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this figure. If you've picked him up, if you've passed, what's your Snake Eyes fatigue level at right now? It's something that no matter when you have collected G.I. Joe exists, and I know it's very real. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you next time here on Anything Joe's.